I really don't want to. I don't want to shuffle this away. This is just perfect. This is just perfect. You can all enjoy this moment with me. Next hand. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have another deck tech for a powerful, maybe, commander deck. Today we're going to be talking about money and how much money we've got, and that I love money, so I'm Money AI, which is why we got a new outfit today. We got this whole new fit, whole new attitude, whole new personality. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm made of money. Money AI. What's up? If you haven't followed my way poorer physical counterpart on Twitter, she's been tweeting a lot about this modern deck she's been playing called 4-Color Money Pile. And we've been enjoying the deck so much that we're going to turn it into a commander deck. Because it's fun to play, and it's 80 cards, so why not just jam another 20 cards in there and like call it good. It's a commander deck. It's a 4-color Yorion commander deck. If you look at the deck list, you'll be like, oh, that's a commander deck. Yeah. So for everyone who doesn't play Modern, here's what a 4-color Money Pile or Yorion or 4-color Blink Control, whatever you want to call it, deck looks like. Originally 4-color Money Pile is called Money Pile because it's a pile of just really expensive cards. And I think for some Modern players, it's kind of problematic because it's a very expensive deck and it's a pile of all the best cards, kind of, or the most expensive cards jammed into one, and it kind of does well, which I don't know, maybe you would think that it's harmful to the metagame or helpful to the game because it's almost very pay to win, but it's fun to play, so what am I gonna say to that? Okay, so 4-color Yorion over here is an 80 card deck that has Yorion as a companion. Where's Yorion? Yorion? No, my Ryan. Yorion. That's a bad joke. Yorion over here, the companion, is an ETB Blink, sort of. It exiles everything and then puts it back into play on your end step of your choice. And then for the companion restriction, it has to be 20 more cards than your starting deck size, I believe. So minimum deck size, I think. I can't read it. But it's 80 cards. It's 80 cards. And to fit the 80 cards, what we have here is basically a bunch of elementals, so it's kind of like an elemental sub-theme with things like Fury, or like Solitude, or Endurance, and also, of course, Omnath itself, or Omnath, Locus of Creation, really powerful. And also it plays Teferi, Time Raveler, and Wrenn and 6, so Wrenn and 6 is a very important part, I think, of 4-color Blink, I guess, or Money Pile. Because first of all, Wrenn and 6 is very expensive, so there you go. It's on theme of money. Second part is that it actually helps you pick up a lot of your lands as you fetch them and replay them, so it makes it easy for you to hit all your land drops, and also just does a whole lot of things. It does, like, you can do Boseiju kind of locks by just keep Boseijuing and then putting it back in your hand. Another really cool thing, I mean, aside from like things like Odawara and Boseiju, you can also play cycle a Triome and then use Wrenn and 6 to put it back in your hand and keep cycling to draw cards. So Wrenn and 6 actually does a lot, and also if you can protect your Wrenn and 6 long enough, you're gonna get the emblem and then win with like a lightning bolt, with retrace or whatever. So Wrenn and 6 actually does a lot. 3 Fairy is very strong if you don't play Modern, or I don't know, 3 Fairy in general. If you play against 3 Fairy, you know how strong it is and how dumb it is. Another cool thing about 3 Fairy is that 3 Fairy actually blinks a lot of the things sort of back into your hand, so you can play as Ice Fang Coatl, which is a flash snake guy who has an ETB to draw a card. You can play Ice Fang and then follow up with 3 Fairy next turn, put the Ice Fang back in your hand, replay Ice Fang, draw a card. So there's a lot of ETBs in this deck. Basically, it's a blink deck, as the name says. There's no blink, but it's a blink deck with elementals, and then just really expensive cards. Some lists plays like Risen Reef and other things like that. So what we want to do, and also like wait. Also there are like variations that play like Titania. There are variations that play like Emrakul. But yeah, they play Emrakul Modern now. Like, it's a great time to play if you like playing money. I don't know. So there's a lot of cool like kind of cards, and you like look at this pile and you're like, this is a commander deck. You're playing Titania, you're playing all these elementals and blinks and Risen Reef and stuff like that, and you've got E-Call. This is a commander deck, right? We're 20 cards off from 100. This is a commander deck. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this into a commander deck. Before we dive into the Mox Field, let's talk a little bit about how Money Pile plays in Modern, kind of what I want to replicate in the Commander deck. So Money Pile kind of drowns your opponent in like value or through value. It's just your hand is always flushed. You've got so much interaction. It's the most unfair fair deck out there. It takes a lot of game actions, and you always have cards in hand, and there's so many ATB triggers. So that's kind of what we want to do. We want to kind of like maintain that play style where you're ramping, you have a lot of cards in hand, and you're using the elementals and synergies there to like kind of get more value, and also just drawing cards off Omnath and getting mana and doing all that stuff and blinking things. So I do want to keep the game plan very similar, and this is probably not like a really good competitive Commander deck, so I don't know what power level you want to put it at. Maybe it's at high plus, high plus, whatever. You get the idea. But let's see how it goes. Let's go look at the deck list. So here's the Mox Field link. Today's commander is Omnath, Locus of Creation, one of each pip except for black, so sans black. It's an elemental, and when Omnath ETBs, you draw a card. It's got 3 different landfall triggers based on what number of land it is. So the first land that ETBs, you gain 4 life. Second land, you get 1 of each color except for black. And then the last time, it's gonna deal 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. It's a 4/4 elemental. I think I said elemental. So it's Omnath. If you want to play like a super competitive version, there are versions on the competitive cEDH decklist database, whatever, that you can find. It's pretty cool. You can do blinky things, and you can, like, I don't know, play Underworld Breach. But today we're not doing that stuff. We're not doing the Underworld Breach part because we're trying to play Money Pile in Commander, right? So we don't have Underworld Breach. As soon as we jam things like Underworld Breach in this deck, I think it just takes up too many slots, and just, I don't know, if you want to play a good Breach deck, you can do that. This is not what that deck is. But we are going to do all the blinky things, though. So we do have 1, maybe 2 combos in here. If you can, like, you can play towards it. But it all fits within the theme. So there's also a secret super secret sub-theme that you want to stay for. It's like the last thing, and you got to stay for it. When you see it, you're gonna be like, this deck is the hottest. I must spend the $6,000 on the bottom of the bar to buy this Money Pile. Also, this deck's called Gucci Pile because, Gucci. Okay, we Gucci. I do know what I'm saying. Okay, next, let's go to the main Money Pile section first. So here's all the Money Pile cards I'm playing from most of the Money Pile decks. What I did was look through a bunch of Money Pile variations and kind of like grabbed a bunch of cards, but most of the core is here. So we'll talk about them. We've already talked about some of the cards before in the other link just to talk about the deck itself, but we can go through some of these. So Abundant Growth here draws a card on ETB, and then also just like adds 1 of any color you need. So this is pretty crucial because, if it's the theme of drawing a card on ETB, you can blink it off Yorion. You can 3 fairy. It's actually very common. Do 3 fairy, bounce your Abundant Growth back in your hand, and replay just to draw a card. Like, this deck just draws so many cards. So Abundant Growth is quite good. You can also, what people generally do is use a fetch land and fetch like a snow-covered forest, snap this onto the forest, and now that forest taps for all 5 colors. So this is quite good. Fixes your colors and draws a card, replaces itself. I don't know. Emrakul, the Promised End. This thing is like the game ender. So 13 mana. We kind of know what Emrakul does. You just steal a person's turn. They get a turn afterwards, and it's protection of instant, flying, trample, 13/13. It's not quite as good in 4-player just because you're taking over 1 person and they get an extra turn afterwards, unlike 1v1 where you can, I don't know, just really close the game out after you play this. This deck kind of has problems closing in 1v1, I think. Not that it has a problem winning, it just can't win very quickly. So I think things like Emrakul is actually quite good in like the 1v1 like in the modern deck, just because you need like the thing to slam down after you have all the cards, right? You got all the mana, you have all the cards, you have 13/13 flamper and just like spaghetti monster them to death. But here we just want it because it's cool. I don't know. Endurance is a really good elemental. It's flash, 3 mana. It stops like fast Oracle stuff. That's how we know. That's what we know about it from Commander. But here, in this deck or in Modern, you know, using it to stop like living. I don't know why we're talking so much about Modern right now, but you're here to like shuffle things to like stop Delirium. You're also to shuffle, I don't know, things out of like maybe Living End and other things like that. So it's just generally useful. It's 3 mana like Elemental. You know, will flash, blocks flyers. It's good. Ephemerate, we talk about why Ephemerate's good. Eternal Witness, we also know why Eternal Witness is good as well. Just ETB, put a thing back in your hand. Generally, if you have Ephemerate and Eternal Witness, that value is just gonna like go wild. Expressive Iteration, not very good in Commander, but still very cool card. So I really want to play Expressive Iteration here, just because it's fun, and it pitches to the other card next to it, Fury. So Fury is one of my favorite elementals from Money Pile. Fury is so freaking good. He's 5 mana, 3/3 double strike elemental. When it ETBs, you get to split 4 points of damage across a number of creatures and planeswalkers. So if anyone's trying to do like creature-based things, nah. Fury is like, sorry creature meta, you don't get to play anymore. This is 2022 Modern, and we are furious. Fast and furious. So Fury is very cool. I just like Fury. I play a lot of Fury in my list. Hey, almost spoiled the secret. I scrolled down and spoiled the secret, so we have to stay here, so you don't get to see the secret yet. Okay, so the next card is Icefang Quaddle, Simic colors, Snake, 1/1, flash flying, ETBs draws a card, so just another, you know, draw a card, ETB replaces itself thing. And then as Death Touch, as long as the 3 other snow permanents. Icefang Quaddle is just a really good card. It blocks very well, and if you fetch well your lands, later you just can just like chump block a really big like Murktide guy, and the Murktide just dies to this little snake. You know, get Death Touched. Sorry you're so poor. Actually, Murktide's very expensive. Also, yeah. Okay, Knight of Autumn's out of the sideboard, but now in the 99 over here. Knight of Autumn's 3 mana, draw at night. When ETBs, you get to choose one effect. The first one is put 2+1/+1 counters, but more likely you're going to be using it for the second or third. Second, I think most likely, is a disenchant. Or you can also gain 4 life. It's a 2/1. So we play this just because it's out of the sideboard. It's like generally useful. You can blow up like maybe a Rhystic Study or like a Mystic Gamora, or I don't know. Maybe they have an Underworld Breach and you decide to play this deck against like Blue Farm or something like that, and then you ephemerate your Knight of Autumn and like get wrecked. You didn't see it coming because you never played against Knight of Autumn. So get wrecked. Blue Farm. Alright, the next card is March of Otherworldly Light. This is in some of the Money Pile lists. You got instant. As an additional cost, you can exile a number of white cards, or it costs 2 less for each white card you exile this way. You exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment mana value X or less. Just a good, you know, useful piece of removal there. You're ideally, I don't know how this is gonna work in Commander, because I don't think this deck is actually going to hit that many lands. Like, I don't think it's going to get as many turns as, like, the 1v1 Modern version. So, I don't know. Still, we got, like, you can see up here, like, mana, like, fast mana. So, I think March of Otherworld, yeah, it's fine. Oath of Nissa is very cool. Here, basically, is another ETB effect we're playing, that when it ETBs, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, you get a land, planeswalker, or creature, and put it into your hand. So in Money Piles is good because it makes it easy for us to hit our land drops. It either gets us one of our planeswalkers like Ren and 6 or 3 Fairy, or gets us one of our elementals. And then when you play Yorion and blink it, you know, you get more of that. So if you haven't pieced it together yet, this deck is just like all ETBs that draw cards or do things, and you like blink all of it and then just refresh your hand. And then you keep playing. Obsidian Charmaw, I've seen this in the sideboard and the main deck, like as a one-of. Obsidian Charmaw is a dragon that costs 1 less for each land your opponents control that could produce a colorless. So in like Commander, I don't know, like maybe like Ancient Tomb, and if they're playing like the Pain lands that tap for colorless, I don't know, not that many hits. But the important part is when ETBs, you destroy target non-basic land opponent controls. So this with an Ephemerate or a Blink Source, you know, you could just stack someone out. They don't get to they play all their expensive lands and you're like, nah, get punished. I'm the only money deck here. Get out of here. This is my money meta. I'm the money deck. Gucci gang. Okay. Prismatic Ending. Over here, if you haven't seen Prismatic Ending before, it's X and a white sorcery as, I think, Converge. where basically for each color you spend to cast a spell, you get to exile a permanent, I think it's non-land, yeah, non-land permanent, where the CMC is like equal or less than the colors you spent on Prismatic Ending. So Ragavan, you just spend just 1 white and you exile Ragavan. If you want to exile Rhystic Study, you put like Naya into it or something like that, or whatever, 3 colors and exile it. So Prismatic Ending just like, I think in Commander might not be that good because it's sorcery speed, but hey, it's not that bad. You know, still kind of flexible here. We got Ragavan here, so the older money pile lists play Ragavan and they've been cutting it, but here, you know, we're trying to fit 99 cards, so let's add the monkey back in. Monkey is pretty good. We know what monkey is good at, and there isn't that much more to say about monkey. Okay, Risen Reef. Risen Reef is the kind of like the new elementals like version of it, of money pile, where you play 4 Risen Reefs and then just like you synergize with all the elementals and then just kind of ramp or draw cards. So we got a Risen Reef here just to like, you know, be a part of the elemental sub theme here. Oh, if you don't know what Risen Reef does, Risen Reef, when it ETBs, you look at a top card. If it's a land card, you put it into play tapped. If it's if you don't put a battlefield, you put it in your hand. It's kind of like Thrasios, except you don't have to reveal it. No, it is. I think it's just like Thrasios. Yeah, it's a 1/1. Solitude is Source of Plowshares on an elemental, really strong card. It's a 5 mana flash, lifelink 3/2. When ETBs, exile up to 1 other target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to the power. Evoke, exile a white card from your hand. Solitude is very good. There's nothing else to say about it. Subtlety. So Subtlety, I don't think any money pile list plays this, but I just want more elementals, so that actually should be here. But Subtlety is another evoke elemental. It has flash as well, has flying. When it enters battlefield, choose up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell, and its owner puts it at top or bottom of the library of their choice. So, you know, they choose if it's top or bottom. And you exile blue cards. So just another piece of free interaction that triggers our Risen Reef and also synergizes with our elementals theme. So, not bad. Also, it's flash. You can just play it. Then next thing is we have 3 Fairy. So we talked about 3 Fairy earlier. 3 Fairy is just kind of good. I think in Commander, a lot of people don't like the idea of 3 Fairy like locking everyone out of interactions. So, and if you don't have interaction, someone just plays an Underworld Breach and they're just like gonna win because no one else can stop it. I don't know. Just like pick the right time to play 3 Fairy, you know? If you have some interaction and you can keep getting value out of it or whatever, then play your 3 Fairy. You got creatures to block for days and you stop some weird things, you know? You can also plus it, and if you plus it, you can play things like, where is it? You can play Prismatic Ending, you know, at instant speed or whatever, and other sorceries. So I find that when I'm playing Modern 3 Fairy, I just kind of very aggressively use the -3 immediately to like draw a card and put like another draw source back into my hand, like a Iceman Coatl. So like, I don't know, I think there's like kind of a heuristic where people are like, oh, you have to defend your planeswalkers, and I have a whole video about why planeswalkers are, you know, hard to like, I don't know, play in Commander, because there's so many different opponents who can threaten you to take a defensive position. But maybe just stop thinking about planeswalkers as a thing you have to keep. And just like be happy with the fact that if your planeswalker draws you a card and bounces a thing, I don't know, it's like fine, totally fine. So that's where I'm at with 3 Fairy. You can play it, don't play it. I don't know, it's money. Right, next card is Time Warp. Time Warp is in some of the older versions of Money Pile, where this is an actual combo now. So with Time Warp, Eternal Witness, and also Ephemerate, you basically take infinite turns. You cast Time Warp, play Eternal Witness, put Time Warp back in your hand, Ephemerate, Eternal Witness, and then you know, play Time Warp again, take an extra turn, and then Ephemerate will now be rebounded, targeting Eternal Witness. And actually, this is in the Gather ruling, you can look at it. If it says if a spell resolving targets Eternal Witness, the Eternal Witness will be able to target the thing, because it's as part of resolution, goes to the graveyard. Just trust me on this. You can Ephemerate. You can use Eternal Witness to pick up the Ephemerate in the second time, so you can do that. But that's our main infinite combo there, and maybe other like ways to get there. But that's kind of like the infinite turns we can take. If not, it's just like fine, I think, to like just play the to play the Time Warp just to like ramp. Also, we have some planeswalkers, so you can like use the Ren 6 to take it up and take up your 3 Fairy. I don't know, play lands and trigger Omnath. There's like things to do. So not the worst like card just to play. Titania. is a very cool element. Oh, she's an elemental herself. Did not know that. Titania has 5 mana. When she ETBs, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then whenever a land you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 elemental creature token. She just fits a lot of our elemental themes. She's played in Money Pile. She synergizes with the lands we want, putting a land into play to like trigger Omnath, creating a elemental when you crack a land to trigger Risen Reef, and also just makes beaters. It's really a really good card we want as part of our list. If you play Commander, I think you generally know what Titania does for like a lot of land decks play it. So Ren 6, we all know what Ren 6 does, I think. Ren 6 picks up a land from your graveyard. It can also ding a thing for 1, and for -7, ding a thing. -7, you can also get an emblem where instant sorcery cards in your graveyard have retrace. So Ren 6 I think is just like so crucial to like the Money Pile play experience, where you just like keep picking up cards, Solitude, remove all the things that threaten your Ren 6, and just like do that. I don't know if that's gonna be as easy to do in Commander, especially if there's Chroms flying around, but hey, I don't know. Not the worst thing in the world. If you play 2 mana, put back a fetch land back in your hand to ramp. I guess you could say, why not play Ramping Growth? But hey, this is like, what, $100? So we're playing Money Pile. Gucci gang. Gucci gang. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, the last card is Yorion. So we can't have Yorion as a companion, but we can have it in the deck. So Yorion's is here to blink all the stuff. You have Abundant Growth, you have Oath of Nissa, you have Icefang Quaddle, and all these other things. You play Yorion, blink all of it, draw all the cards, exile all the things, Fury all the things. I don't know. So that's the Money Pile core. And then I added a bunch of other things. This is only 23 cards, so we need to add a bunch of other cards to kind of like fill out the deck. So the first thing here is like the land base is like, I don't know, 4-color land base. Is there anything to talk about? Anything that's like special here is just really the triomes that I was talking about earlier. And the important part of triomes, aside from the fact that fixes your colors, is that you can cycle them. So with Ren 6, as I said earlier, you can cycle them, draw cards. You can channel the lands over here like Boseiju and Otawara to deal with things. I don't know, there's a Guy's Cradle too. Why not? We're Money Pile. It's $1,000. It's $1,000. Just buy it. For our interaction, it's like pretty standard stuff. Nothing too special. It's like a Force of Vigor. I don't know. Nothing really worthwhile to talk about. Okay, so because this is a blink deck, I did want to add 2 more sources of blinking. First one's Emil. So Emil, is very good at blinking things. You tap 4 mana, tap 3 mana. Oh my god, it's even better. Tap 3 mana, exile another creature. Let's just blink it, right? Tap 3 mana, blink a thing. And if you have like something like Dockside Extortionist, that's infinite mana. If you have like enough, if it goes positive or whatever. And then if you have that, and then you like blink your other ETBs, you can make like, okay, you make infinite mana, and then like you play Omnath, and then blink Omnath infinitely, draw all the cards in your deck, and then do something with it. I don't know. I don't think there's a way for you to win with like infinite card of all your cards in your hand. There has to be a way. Maybe we need to put a shuffler back in here. Maybe we do. Okay. We'll update that later. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. Could you? No, you can't. Maybe you play out all your elementals and take an extra turn, beat everyone down, and then, yeah. I think. Okay, we're working out the win con right now with infinite draws. I think you just play all your things, all your beaters, and then just like, very carefully not deck yourself out, and then like take time warps and just like kill your opponents. There's also a Noxious Revival, so if we play Noxious Revival, put a card back on top, play Eternal Witness, put Noxious Revival back in hand, draw a card, put that. Yeah, there has to be a loop. There has to be a loop there. We're not figuring that out. We got money, okay? We pay people to figure that out. Someone else will do it. Okay, but that's Emil. Emil is good. I've seen Money Pile lists actually play Restoration Angel, some of them, like 1. So, just another blink, kind of cool, has flash. So, instant speed's kind of cool. For elementals, we've seen all of them. I just added an extra Mold Drifter, because Mold Drifter ephemerate to draw 2 cards with the evoke, so that's draw 4 cards. It's pretty good. It's like the only other evoke elemental I kind of liked. You could probably put more if you want. I added Zendikar Royal just to go with like the landfall trigger and also the elemental theme. So like you make little elementals. If you have a Risen Reef, you play a land. Trigger Risen Reef, you know, you see the synergy between these two, you know, it's pretty good. Alright, this pile over here is all the ETB kind of like payoffs we have. So we've seen a lot of them in from the money pile kind of grouping, but we add a couple things like Dockside Extortionist. We know why that's here. Dockside's good. And also Dockside's like still $80. After it's been reprinted, still $80. Alright, it's still money pile, you know, that's what we're doing here, you know. Gang, money. We also added Phantasmal Image here. So Phantasmal Image isn't here to be blinked. Phantasmal Image is here to copy an ETB. So I would ideally like to copy a Risen Reef and just go wild. Like, just go super wild. Like, draw 2, blink another elemental, or evoke an elemental, and then, like, ramp and do all that stuff. Wreck Sage is here just to, like, wreck an artifact or an enchantment, and then we can just keep doing it, or continue, like, do it again with, like, a blink spell or a meal, so it seems useful. Clear the Guard finds us a creature with toughness 2 or less, so that's, like, Dockside, that's, like, Muldrifter, and there's a bunch of things. Or Spellseeker. So Spellseeker is another card we added here on ETB. You find instant sorcery, that CMC 2 or less. If you don't know what Spellseeker does, I don't know, man. Spellseeker is here to find off Ephemerate, and here to find like free interaction or interaction if we need it. So you get a Spellseeker, blink it, and then find like, I don't know, a Worldly Tutor, find your Eternal Witness, and just start like, you know, valuing out. And hopefully the game hasn't ended yet, but if you get that far, man, you're gonna be in a good spot. Alright, I think that's all the stuff. Alright, okay, so I think we went through most of the things. Oh, there's 2 other cards here just to go with the lands theme. We have Crucible of Worlds and also a Tatiova. So Crucible of Worlds is here just to double up on our Ren 6 effect. We only have 1 Ren 6 instead of 4. So it's going to be hard to kind of get the consistent like landfall thing or like the fetch land thing going. So Crucible's here to pick up our fetch lands. Tatiova is here just to help us draw more cards and just go with the landfall or like the land trigger or like lands theme. It's just here to go for our lands theme. So yeah, Tatiova's a good card. I don't know. I'm sure there has to be a combo again with Time Warp, Tatiova, Nocturne Revival. I don't know. Someone must do it. And then for our mana base, we have a little bit of fast mana, Soul Ring, and Mana Crypt. I'm not actually super big on like the kind of, so we can't play colored mana rocks here, but it just eats up too many slots of our deck. Like this is already me trying to fit as much fun stuff as I can. If we start to add more fun rocks and stuff, it's just, I don't know, I think part of the deck just, we lose part of the fun. So I'm not a super big fan of just playing those like 2 mana rocks right now. But we do have Mana Crypt and also Soul Ring. And the thing about these colorless things, if you watch my my pip control Commander Schools video, you know that the colorless mana here actually isn't super valuable. It's like somewhat valuable, but like one thing about Money Pile is it really cares about colored pips. Like our commander here cares about colored pips. This does nothing, which is why we don't even have Jewel Lotus in here. But like if you look at a lot of our spells, it's just like a lot of colored pips. I mean, aside from like Solitude and like other things like that. But you know, Mana Crypt Soul Ring is generally useful too to like power out a Ristic Study. So that's why we still have it. Shaman Forgotten Ways is a unique kind of dork here, just because Shaman's the only one that can add any combination of colors to cast creature spells. It makes it easier to cast Omnath. And also you can Biorhythm. So it's another like, I don't know. It's another thing. Okay. So here's what we do. We draw our cards. We play Shaman of the Forgotten Ways. We Biorhythm our opponent. Take an extra turn, Biorhythm our opponents, then bolt them, and then Eternal Witness bolt. That's how we do it. That's how we win the game. Figured it out. RC, you want to ban Biorhythm? Too bad, because we got Shaman of the Forgotten Ways, and we'll get there. You can't beat money. Always bet on money. That's the American way. And we got Birds of Paradise. Okay. All right. Here's the secret. Are you ready? Are you ready for the secret? Are you ready for the super spice? I don't think you're ready. Okay, let's go take a look. So there is one Money Palace that recently like won this event at Haruya that had a super spice tech. And are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Okay, so before we reveal the secret, I just want to show you that Ice Fang Quaddle is a snake. All right, Ice Fang Quaddle is a snake. So what you could do as well is you have a snake sub theme. So in the money pile list, you can actually have 4 Coiling Oracles instead of Risen Reefs, because they're basically just Risen Reefs, right? 4 Ice Fan Quaddles, 1 Lannis, because Lannis is just good, and then 1 Shishiro the Anointed. So Shishiro's other snakes you control have +2/+2. Whenever a snake you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So your Ice Fan Quaddle, ETBs draws a card, deals damage as a 3/3 flyer, draw a card. And then Sasuke Summons is a 4-mana sorcery, put 2 1/1 snake into tokens into play. Whenever a non-token snake comes into play under your control, you may return this back to your hand. So like, you play it, make 2 snakes, play Ice Fan Quaddle, put it back in your hand, play it again, 3 fairy, bounce your Ice Fan Quaddle, replay it, get 2 more snakes, and you play Shishiro. They're all 3/3 snakes, they're all drawing you cards. If this doesn't get you excited, nothing will get you excited in life, okay? This is like the coolest thing in the universe. So, I don't know, play Money Pile. This is like elementals, blink, snakes, money. That's all the sub themes you need in a commander deck. So we have the secret also snake sub theme here too. You can go harder into the snake theme if you want. I'm down, totally down. Feel free to do what you want with this deck, because it's gonna be bad. And then we have a little bit of stacks: Strength, Magistrate, and even Mind Sensor. Keep it or leave it. This is here. For some of our tutors, we got Quarter Calling. Tutors actually kind of matter here because some of our removal are creatures of instant speed. So like you can Chord a Solitude to remove something, which is pretty cool. Crop rotations here, so you can do a cool thing where you can not only find the land you need, but you can actually crop rotate like a Triome that you found earlier and start doing the thing I told you of Ren 6, where you cycle it to draw cards. E-Call is another Money Pile card, and also a commander card. So you find a creature at instant speed, find a Solitude, find a Fury, whatever you need. It's actually very useful. Eldritch Evolution is here because I think it's actually quite good for you to play your Omnath, do the things you need with Omnath, then EE the Omnath to find like a 6-drop, and then replay your Omnath afterwards again. I think getting rid of your Omnath is actually quite good because Omnath ETB draws you a card. And also just can you make you more mana? It's not that bad. E-Tutor is here to find us. We're 6 study, I don't know, all the dumb things, nothing cool. Mystical Tutor is here for our Ephemerate. Neo Form, same thing with EE, just to like get rid of our Omnath if we need to, get an Elemental out of them. Search for Glory is in this deck because we just want to find our Ren 6. Yeah, here to find our Ren 6. Or 3 Fairy, I don't know. You can find legendary cards that can be not Ren 6, but it's just like, I don't know. Ren 6, I feel like turn 2 Ren 6 is so cool, or like playing Ren 6 in this deck is so much fun that I want it. Worldly Tutor finds an Elemental. Okay, the last couple cards is just some like draw cards. So kind of interesting thing to like think about, I guess, even though it's like obvious stuff like Esper Sentinel, Mystic Reborn, Rhystic Study to draw cards in Commander. The point of this deck is to like drown our opponent in value, right? So the kind of like self-replacing cards and blinking them to draw more cards, I don't think it's going to be the rate that, you know, is going to be able to keep up with a 4-player game. So, I mean, obviously we know these cards are good, but I think we need, like, especially to, like, stay in the spirit of, stay in the elements, of Money Pile. I think, you know, it's extra important that we play these things so that we can feel like we're playing Money Pile. Our hand's always full and we have all the answers, and then we lose because we make some bad decisions. And that's the whole deck. Now we're in the Moxio Tester like usual. We're going to play a couple turns, maybe like 2 hands, Goldfish it, and see how this deck kind of feels. Just warning again, this deck is not good. I don't think it's good. If you want to play like a really good Omnath deck, like go to Decklist Database. There are better Omnath decks. But if you're a modern player and you have a Money Pile deck just like me, and you're also being the villain, might as well bring this into your Commander Night and just like, you know, own up your image as the villain, you know? Get your Gucci jacket out, because I know you can afford it. If you can afford a Money Pile deck, you can afford a Gucci jacket, I think. And bust this deck out. But let's take a look at this hand. No more jokes. Maybe a couple more jokes. This hand's, I like it because I got my Search for Glory, and I get to play my Ren 6, I think. So that was quite good. Who cares? It's Commander. We'll just die to turn 2 ad nauseum. Doesn't matter. Alright, let's draw. There's an Ewit. God, this is such a great hand. We could play Rogrin Triome. I want to hold this for the Ren 6. So I think Arid Mesa now. It's kind of weird because like I did care a lot about life totals, but oh wait. We're playing with Commander lands, so I don't have to take damage. All right, we'll play our Soul Ring here. Draw a card. Ooh, that's cool. We'll play a trop. Hold up the offer just in case. I don't know, whatever. Oh, look, Search for Glory. What are we gonna get? We're gonna get our Ren and 6. Yeah, we're getting Ren and 6. Yes. Ren 6 in hand. Pass a turn. Draw a card. Play a Stomping Ground, take 2. Play our Ren 6. Our Ren 6 will die now. Ooh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we just take an extra turn here? And then play our Ren 6 turn afterwards and have 3 mana and play Ewit? But yeah, I think that's better. Alright, so we're gonna play our Time Warp actually just to ramp. Untap, draw a card, play the Odawara, kind of a shame. 1, 2, play. Oh, hold on. We didn't count our colors. Actually, maybe we play Omnath first. Yeah, I think we play Omnath. Draw a card. And then we like pass the turn. That wasn't probably gonna sequence that a little better, but doesn't matter. Okay, now that we have a blocker, we play our Ren 6. Boom. Ren 6. Now we cycle the Triome, draw a card, activate Ren 6. Oh, we got our 3 fairy too. Oh, this is just like playing Money Palace. So hot. Okay. Up to 4, and then in a real game of competitive Commander, they're gonna get rid of our Omnath and hit our Ren 6, and then we cry. But in this fantasy world where no one can stop us, we're gonna be like, haha, you want to ad nauseum? No, you're not gonna ad nauseum. There's no way you can be playing backup. It's ad nauseum. Okay, we'll play one more hand. We're over here. Oh, I kind of wanna. I really wish. Okay, so another thing about playing this deck here versus like Modern is that we don't have nearly as many fetch lands, so the likelihood of us actually having fetch lands to like keep putting back the Ren 6 actually is a lot lower, but who cares? Okay, I think at this point we got tap 2. I think we play like a Dranith, and then like, oh, we're kind of stuck on white. Maybe I don't want to play the Triumph, but maybe I have to play the Triumph. Yeah. Oh, we got naturally drawn Yorion in here. How is this deck so good to me? I'm gonna activate Ren 6, put this back in my hand. Now we'll play it because we definitely want to start hitting the white lands. Coiling Oracle. If it's land, put up battlefield. Oh, and then now we gain 4 life. Oh, this is a second land. Also, we have 4 mana. We have 4, and then we tap this in Yorion, and then blink all these guys. Guys, I'm... Alright. How is this deck not the coolest deck in the universe, right? I mean, if you're my opponent on the other side, sure, this is not so cool, because we're taking all the game actions, but look at this. This is the Modern deck. Who needs 4 of everything? Singleton just works fine. Commander's the best format in the game. Okay, we'll resolve the blink, and then we'll try another hand. So we'll blink the Coiling Oracle and the Omnath and the Soul Ring for fun. Omnath, draw a card. Oracle. Ooh. Did you just see we flipped over 2 3 pieces of interaction off our 2 thing? Okay. We kind of have to draw one more. We have to see one more hand. That's a thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's hot. There's nothing else. There's no other way to describe it. Money Pal's awesome. Having money is great. Okay, this is the American dream. Okay. Well, I really don't want to. I don't want to shuffle this away. This is just perfect. This is just perfect. You can all enjoy this moment with me. Okay. So that's a deck. That's 4-color Gucci pile. Seems like a fun deck. Probably not the strongest thing ever, but hey, that's the rest of my decks. You know what's gonna happen. You know what you signed up for to this channel. Watching a bunch of barely strong enough decks and playing them and ruining competitive games. But you know, Commander's a bad competitive format, so it's your fault. If you liked it, tweak it, play more elementals, play more snakes, play more blinks. I don't know. Make it your own. I think it's a very fun deck, very cool, and you can definitely power it down to like fit your local meta or your play group. I just think it's very fun, you know, playing with like all these ETBs and Omnath and stuff like that. So if you don't have one, if you don't have an Omnath deck, make one. It's fun. Also, get a Gucci jacket. It's pretty comfy. Do you know what I'm saying? Bye bye. Gucci gang gang.